Hey everyone, this is not a bad looking room, but we're going to be tearing it apart completely because there's a black mold issue inside of the wall. Behind this, because this is just a false wall, behind this is like a 1 foot space before you hit the concrete wall. This is a basement. Right here we have 8-foot ceilings. Can't even reach it unless I go on my tippy toes. That's attached directly to the floor joists upstairs. Right here, the sheetrock will come down really easy because if you listen, there's nothing holding it here. It's a giant air duct. Right here, these walls are gonna come down. Gonna go right through here. The furnace room's behind there. Some of these shelving, you see they're not very tight. I can just rip them off. Those can be saved. There's not really much mold here, but if you go into this room right over here, this is where our issues are. In here, you can see there's actually water right down there. That's the water table, and on some days the water is like almost to the top of the concrete here. That's because the drain around the perimeter of the building is only so deep. It'll never come out of here as long as the sub pump works, but also we're getting rid of this bathroom here, so this bathtub is going to be leaving, and we're going to plug its drain. This right here is the vent that goes up to the roof for that tub, so this can be cut here and capped. That no longer needs to be needed. And then obviously we have a lot of electrical on the wall. Once we get the place stripped down, I'm going to remove all that wiring, and because it's no longer going to be a finished basement, that can just be tacked to the wall on some running boards with a few plugs. The water's all shut off. We're going to get rid of all this PEX pipe and stuff. Now we're looking around, see if we have anything load bearing. We don't. You see that big gap right there? This wall is not supporting anything up there. Look how high our ceilings are going to be. That's almost 9 feet up there once all this stuff's out. So none of this looks to be load bearing at all. Now we just got to see what's inside these walls. Alright, so here's what we got going on inside the wall. It's not a foot. Other areas are. They have 2x3s, and this is the concrete wall, which will be painted and sealed later with some dry lock. For now, this insulation is going to be staying here. We're probably going to get spray foam put in because it's much better than what's already there, because it's very drafty. This right here, I'm going to try to save some of this wood. We don't see the mold at this point. We got a lot down, and it's not going as I wanted it to, but slowly we're gonna bag it up, bring it to the dump. Over here I disconnected the electrical power so I can just rip the walls down, spread those apart just in case we need the breaker back on for whatever reason. We're not going to be reusing those wires. Once the wall's out, I'm going to remove all the copper and we're going to bring new wires, because this is not even Romex. That insulation here has to stay because it's freezing outside. It's going to be replaced with spray foam insulation. Insulation guys are going to come in here with a machine. It's like a lawnmower. It's going to chop all that up into little pieces and suck it up into a vacuum truck. Look how nasty this is. You know what that is? Little cubby holes everywhere, chewed out by the mice. They were living in all this. And right now I'm just wearing a regular mask. You're supposed to have a respirator when you're working with this stuff. Online, you just can't get them anymore. I went to like 5 Home Depots today. Nobody has respirator masks. None. Got some of those beams out myself. Like, you just pull on them and they snap in half. They're so dry. I don't see where the mold problem even is. It's a little bit of discoloration you see on the concrete by the floor, but the only place I found the mold was actually in the ceiling. And the reasoning for that is, in the winter when this place is heated, all the hot air traveling up through the ceiling condenses, and that's why it was in the ceiling. Other than that, it's not too bad. Not exactly ready to go yet, but almost. I can see where it's trying. Let's go in. That might have done it. For a second, I was like, what is that wire? I disconnected everything. Because I didn't see any black ones, but it's just cable. Still holding on a bit. There's one giant nail. That's what it is. Don't want to break this yet. It's one stubborn wall. The footings, the bottom shelf is not even attached to the floor. All right, so here's the situation. You see how it's all shredded? Something was living in the wall. Most likely mice, possibly chipmunks. But at least they're not digging in the outside. They wanted the inside sheets because it's warmer in here. Now, for whatever reason, they didn't screw the bottom plate to the floor, just the top. So if I cut all these studs with a reciprocating saw, that'll just all rip right on out of there. Nice clean cut.